Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with the Founder. I'm Beck Bamberger, and we want to explore on our little show here why founders do what they do with venture-backed companies. How are they building these companies that are hopefully helping the world and societies and institutions and so on and so forth? We're here for tech for good, just to be clear, and to understand a little bit more on the psychology and the hurdles that it is to build venture-backed startups, because it is not for the faint at heart. So we're demystifying this a little bit as we go through this show. And I'm already thinking, Ryan, I told you, what's my 70-page dissertation thing that I could crank out of this thing once I do several hundred of these. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. And I already did that once with a PhD, and that wasn't that fun. So here we are. This is fun, though. This is fun. With us today, coming from LA, as you can see on the beautiful LA day that it is Ryan Duitch. He is the founder and CEO of Arro, and we're solving a lot of things in the fintech space as it relates to fair credit. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Especially on a Friday. We're a little bit more casual. We're good. I love this. Okay. Why are you doing Arro, and what does it solve?
So Arro is solving big pain points in America and globally for that matter.
Yeah.
But here we're focused on the US, which is how do you both help people get access to credit, build their credit, and then more importantly, make the right decisions after that. A lot of people are focused on, well, I want to build my credit to get X. Well, what happens when you get X? Are you getting a loan to do this, to spend right? Are you going to end up being in a worse situation than you started?
Yeah.
We've created a new type of approach to credit building that is essentially an integrated financial management platform and helping you think about how to be educated, how to build credit, how to save better, budget better, et cetera. And we need something more than what a lot of products solve a piece. We're trying to solve the whole puzzle.
You had a little statement on LinkedIn where you were saying, there's a guy named Michael, for example, a business owner. He applied 15 times over 5 years, rejected. But then his score, he was able to build from basically nothing, you said, to 700 in 7 months with Arro. Is that a typical case study for you all? Or I'm sure that's a really good one, but what you said, that's a gem one.
There are a handful. The way I say it is, what we do is we issue a credit line to folks that start small. It grows as you take educational lessons, make payments, set goals, respond to our AI coach, and more. So we've built a system that's recommending and guiding you into how to do these several things. If you follow our recommendations, then that is absolutely a typical story for us. However, not everyone can pay down their debt. Not everyone can afford to do the things that we hope you can do. And so there are lots of different types of customers and people out there looking for different help. But the system we've built is meant to guide you to exactly accomplish something like that or some form close to it.
And you were saying also just the size of the problem is about 160 Americans, just Americans that are under credited, like don't have the credit or don't have the footprint of credit.
Yeah, 160 million people kind of don't fit the bucket that it gets mainstream credit. So they look for alternative products and alternative opportunities out there. It is quite a lot.
What? Same day pay and
everything from payday loans to different cash advances to other alternative loans. There are credit products for these folks as well. Just a lot of the times the pricing is really high. So if you're looking for I want one of the mainstream banks or whatnot out there, a lot of our country is shut out of it due to limited credit, low credit, or no credit at all.
And the card limit that you guys all issue is like $2,500. Is that what I'm reading? Yeah.
We can get to $2,500.
So you even do a little smaller thing. Okay.
We start way lower. So a lot of cards, Capital One and others, they actually start a lot of people at around $300. We start even lower than that. Yeah. So we start up to $300. However, the way our system is built is we can grow your credit line by $1,000, $2,000 over the course of time. In the first day, you can grow it by $30. A month later, you can grow it by $100, et cetera. And so it's all about how you engage and interact in our system. We are starting to move towards where we can start people up to $1,000.
Mm.
probably in the near future. But right now, you can start up to 300, and then we grow you to
Mm.
2,500.
And then you do also report to the credit bureaus too. So that's how they're getting more of their credit established, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours is a fully unsecured credit card. No different
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
you might have or others might have. What's different though is that we have this kind of Duolingo type financial literacy
Mhm.
experience. As you go through this gamified program, we give you more credit as you accomplish milestones, save, budget, make payments, etc. So we're really trying to help you learn, how do I make sure I build better financial kind of health for myself, and then we reward you with credit and credit building along the way.
Well, and credit is money. So basically, you're paying people to learn, in a sense.
That we some of our reviews are, wow, this company is paying me
To
to do
learn.
things that I should be doing. This is pretty cool.
Hey, hey, way to unlock it. Listen, I'm the economist in me is always follow the money. Follow the money. This is why the green first wave totally busted, because I'm like, it's not saving money for any company. No one wants to save the planet, for instance. You have to make it make sense. Are they saving money? And is it faster, cheaper, better? So all this, follow the money. Number one rule in
That's
economics. It just astounds me though how so much sometimes is missing from that. You've got to follow the money. You've got to follow the
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've tried to
So
do it differently for a few reasons, as I was
yeah.
saying before, though. But following the money for sure is key. But a lot of people follow the money and then end up in a worse spot than they started because they don't
Yes.
know what to do with that money. And
Yes.
companies and lenders, especially, they focus on the product itself and how to profit as much as you can off the product. We say we're going to charge less, considerably less than others, but we're going to focus on the behavioral side, because if
Mm.
we help you make better decisions, we will build more loyalty, we will build more trust, and we will set you up to be in a better position where we can make more alongside of you instead
Yeah,
of make more
exactly.
from you right off the bat.
See, yes. This is yes. Do people then graduate at all from you?
So we
Because how do
retain
you
most
keep
of
that?
our
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we retain most of our customers who stay with us.
Mhm.
Does that mean they graduate by they might get some other cards,
Card,
other
yeah.
products? We might have recommended some of those directly in our
Mm.
platform, or
Mhm.
they might elsewhere, but we don't see a big portion of customers closing. We actually have unbelievably high retention rates
Mm.
because we have AI coaching and data and budgeting and recommendations and educational
Yeah.
backgrounds now. And if you close your credit card, it actually negatively impacts your credit score.
Yes,
And
it
now you
does.
lose access to
Yes.
available credit that you have to pay off entirely anyway for those that do need to hold a balance. And so the product
Mhm.
itself is built
Very
to be a
sticky.
very sticky product. That said, does it make sense to have another card or another product? Absolutely. And the hope is we can help guide you on how
Yeah,
to manage that
exactly.
other one as effectively.
Well, and then you make a cut from that too, which I'm let's see. Follow the money. Once again, Ryan. Okay. So you were doing an MBA at USC. Not that I'm going to be mad about that. Okay. I'm a Bruin over here. What prompted you to solve this problem?
Yeah, so actually, out of the MBA, I co-founded another business with a serial entrepreneur who had had a couple exits. It was
Yeah.
in a different
Okay.
space, but we had a gig component where we employed gig workers as one part of a big platform we've built.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's real data, just to be
yeah,
clear.
yeah. And
Real
I
data.
learned a lot about just how people spend, how they survive, how they struggle, what they optimize for, et
Mhm.
cetera. Mostly paycheck to paycheck folks.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
just learn how many good people there are that A, have no idea how to manage money, but are really just trying to live the
They're
best life
just
they
trying to
can.
live.
Yeah. And so
Most
it's
people
tough.
are
And
doing the
so
best they can.
it's they're trying, and so that kind of led me into the psyche of this customer base. I started my career in financial planning, and Arrow was born through lots of discovery, really through talking to people. I was interviewing people all over the country, trying to think about a credit concept that worked, and
Mhm.
I came into this by learning more and more. Just lots of good people, no idea where to go, where to start. I made this mistake. I'm afraid of overspending. I'm afraid of the
Yeah.
debt trap, and I said, what if we could, instead of just giving you money, what if we could impact what you did after? But a lot of people have tried to focus on the recommendations and the coaching and whatnot. But people, what is the motivation for someone to stay with you to continue to this? You need a hook. And the
Yeah,
hook
you
was,
need a
well, if
hook.
we could give you the financial service and then give you everything after and tie them together in one way, maybe we could actually shape behavior, get
Mhm.
unique signals about people, and set them up to be more successful.
Mhm. Hmm. Sounds good. Sounds good. It's going well so far. So here we are. Why don't you, or do you have any opinion on this, Ryan, on thinking about, and we did this, we talked a little bit about this before we hit record, on sometimes founders get stuck in the trap of being obsessed with the solution. They're not actually, and they get so stuck on their solution. Well, and let me stuff it down everyone's throats and just like make them adopt it or whatever, and it doesn't work. Versus being obsessed with the problem and just solving to the problem. How has that impacted your design?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is there are solutions that we could have launched that would have been
Sure,
easier to scale,
sure,
make more money for us as a company
sure.
more quickly and navigate kind of markets. There are solutions that a lot of people say, well, I know that this should work for people, but is it
Mhm,
going to actually work for them? And so we
mhm.
focus more on what people need and what's the right product for them by really listening to the problems they've experienced, the fears they have, and more. And it has allowed us to create a really amazing product, but a really hard product. There's most companies out there don't offer unsecured credit cards for a reason. That
Yeah,
stays open forever.
yeah,
But by staying open forever, we can continue to impact things that are ongoing. Someone's life is constantly shifting. Every 3 months, 6 months, 12 months,
yeah.
it might look different. So if you're only in there for a period, how do you help continue to impact what's next? And a lot of the learnings that we've taken over time by really focusing on both the macro and micro problems of consumers out there led us into the discovery. And that's how we think about everything we build. Is this the real problem we're addressing? Not as this a feature or a part
Yeah,
of a
exactly.
solution that can do what maybe the market wants.
Mhm,
Because if you do right by customers, it will play itself out. Maybe it
mhm,
doesn't go as fast as you want. There are many other things I could say to go off of that, but
mhm,
we obsess over the real problem in the market.
mhm. And how does the problem eventually stop? Would you say, like, 10x out of all this stuff? And this is maybe too big of a question, but I'm curious. How does it end? Is it end when it's like, well, of course, everyone would have financial literacy at 2 years old, and they'd have an account that they would be growing, from day one in their account, and everyone would go to school and learn budgeting, or they have an app, or they have an AI agent that's already building your credit the moment you get out of the womb. Okay, you could talk about that or something. But is there an end state to this problem as you see it? I'm being a little
Yeah.
facetious, but
No, no, no. I
where?
mean, the problem, the hard part of this is there isn't really an end state because income is not universal for all. People make different amounts. You can only save so much. Like even if you cut the base of expenses, a lot of people are living basically within the
Yeah,
means of a month to month,
yeah,
maybe 2 months. And a lot of
yeah,
people are only able to look out a month or 2 months. There
yeah.
are for sure groups that you can help set them up to maybe make some better decisions and avoid some of
Mhm,
the problems that end up creating domino effects of problems.
mhm.
But the world exists in a way where people live differently. Some struggle, some others. So, how do we make it better for each person, each group? My goal of what we're trying to build is to show that while we have a consumer product right now, that we're building a platform that can apply or appeal to any group, any age, and help continue to stay right alongside you so that when you don't know what to do, you have somewhere to go. We focus on financial literacy as a core part of our mission because if you're not educated on what to do or why to do, how do you ever build
What are
better
you gonna do?
habits?
Yeah, what
But
are you gonna do?
it's hard to actually put that into action, even whether you're educated, uneducated, it doesn't really make a difference. It's hard to know what to do with your money. And it's hard to make the right decisions when we all just want the best lives we can. And so we're trying to build something that is everlasting, something that maybe some of the biggest banks in the country can use to say, can we create a better platform
Ooh.
for our customers, for their kids, and white label that just as much as we have a product that we're constantly experimenting and building on top of to figure out how to do this.
Mhm. So, I had, one of our founders on just yesterday, and he was saying, "Oh god, when you have product market fit, it's not a happy time. It's not a happy time because it's go time, and you're usually stressed now about delivering on all that fit that you have and the demand you have and so forth." It's a great problem, but it could be a hard problem. Is that where you are right now, where you feel, "All right, we've got the fit," and is that a oppressing problem for you all right now?
Yeah, and I'll give you one funny anecdote as I
Yeah.
answer that is it's not just product market fit. The amount of founders I know that are, we focus so hard on raising money, then
Yeah.
you raise the money, and then you're like, wait a second, it's even more stressful now because now I got to
That's
execute on
right.
everything I just said I was going to do.
Yeah.
Same goes for product
Yeah.
market fit
Yeah.
or any goal that you accomplish, right? We
Yeah.
strive towards something, but when you get there, there's still 100 things that still need to happen, and you
Yeah.
only need to keep getting bigger and better and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're in an exciting place in that we have found product market fit in that we have a product that is working amazingly for customers who want it.
Mhm.
We are
Mhm.
still building more, expanding features, launching a couple other core anchor products that can serve more and more people.
Mhm.
But we're in an exciting phase right now where we're starting to focus on scale and growth. And
Mhm.
that is the phase of product market fit that you hope to get in.
Yeah.
I'd say all companies are still finding more of product market fit, but yeah, we're pretty excited about where we're at. And right now we're starting to grow quite a bit more than we ever have.
Ooh, a good time to be in. But yes, I'm glad you mentioned the after the race part because I think it's a fallacy in maybe people who aren't in the tech space are like, oh my gosh, well, you just raised like $31 million. It's like, oh, it's like, no, that is the most stressful time because now the heat is ever more on to deliver
Yep.
on that fresh capital alongside all the other people that pile the other capital on. Like you're just putting more chips
Yeah,
in.
your
And by
your
the way,
monthly
yes,
metrics need to now meet everything you said it would. It's one thing to
yeah,
say it's going to
yeah,
do
yeah,
this. The
yeah.
more money you bring in, the more pressure to meet the
Yes.
goals that you've set.
Yes.
And by the way, it's good pressure to have because you
Right,
shouldn't be
yes.
raising that if you didn't set that. But
That's right.
a lot of founders out there, projections aren't always exactly what they say.
Yeah.
We've always taken the conservative approach on projections, which sometimes have bit us, but they set it up to be quite a bit more reasonable as you move forward. I've seen some where people put anything out there and then it's impossible to hit, but you bet on it and you move forward. But yeah, I mean, understanding the role of a founder, back to the product market fit
Yes.
stress question, is like you have to know coming into this nothing's ever going to go according to plan. You have
Right.
to be prepared for the unprepared, which sometimes is
Yeah.
impossible to do, and you're constantly weighing very difficult decisions every single time you're making a decision. But which is, you said, I think it was before when you started, it's
Yeah.
not for the faint of heart. But
No.
high conviction, good products, good missions, good people, there's so much amazing things that can be done when a lot of the stars align.
Also, good delusion. You gotta be a little delusional to be
You,
doing this.
uh,
You have to be.
you,
Do you think so? I haven't brought up this as like delusion as a key component to the only way you're gonna survive this. Do you think of that? Do you ever think, Ryan, like,
oh,
okay, well, I'm a bit delusional. I mean, I think about this all the time. I'm like,
you have to be.
I'm ever more delusional,
Yeah,
frankly.
I'd say, delusion might
Oh,
be one
delusion.
word. You have to be a forever optimist,
You
even
have to.
when
I
people
know.
tell you this is impossible, it can't happen, you're crazy, you can't change. The amount of people that told me you can't change behavior or help low income folks or this or that, it's like, well, here's why. By the way, I've seen a lot of the things play out that people said, but if you don't constantly believe it can be changed, it can never be changed. I remember
Yeah.
when I was first starting this, a buddy had a different concept that I mentioned would have been much easier to raise a lot more and scale a lot quicker. And he's like, just do it. He's like, you'll be able to do ABC much quicker. And I was like, but if I don't do this, then who? And if not me, then, if not now, then when? And so, like, you have to have such conviction, no matter what
Mhm.
anyone tells you. But the other side of it is you have to evolve your own
That's right.
conviction to follow the data. It can't be, I think this is going to happen and forever I believe it, even when everything
No,
tells me not.
exactly. You
It's,
get more
I
data. Yeah.
believe in a thesis. My hypothesis is, this, but the how you get there,
Yeah.
it's constantly evolving and pivoting and shifting. And you
Yeah.
have to be open to that as a founder.
Hmm. There's a great quote from George Shaw. I just pulled it up because it's on Unreasonable Institute's homepage. The reasonable person adapts themselves to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to themselves. Therefore, all
That is a good one.
progress depends on unreasonable people.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get it. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
how can the world change if you don't believe the world can change? And
exactly.
then do
So,
everything you can to make it happen.
and then,
It's not
yeah,
easy.
it's not, yeah, because you can't just have the belief. You have to have the doggedness of and relentlessness of being a founder who can go like, yeah, no, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to change this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Relentlessness, I hire for relentlessness. Like nothing can stop you. You can't quit. It can't be this. It has
Okay.
to be no anything. There's nothing in my past that will stop me from accomplishing what I need to accomplish, no matter how hard, no matter how wide.
Mhm.
A lot of people give up. Even founders, I've been
I
surprised that have raised
know.
a lot of money are
I
just like, it's too
know.
hard and it's too much. By the way, it's been too hard for me at times and it's been too much,
Yeah,
but you have
yeah,
to power through that.
yeah. Okay,
And
but let me ask you though, how do you even suss that out? You could do it through a lot of fun, creative questions because I think one great thing about people is they're very similar in patterns. So, like, the behavior of this matches how you interact with that person. It's like we're behavior oriented in consistency. So, like, if you can pattern match a bit to the behavior of someone and go like, oh, they did that at that job and then they did it at that job. Okay, it's great. But how do you suss that out if you do it all?
that's a good question. I don't know if I'd say I suss it out as much as, like, for me
Yeah.
personally, I have a pretty tough skin for the most part,
Mhm.
and sometimes you got to take a breath, you got to take a walk, you got to leverage your partner and your family
Mhm.
and friends. I
Mhm.
mean, I've called founders and
Yeah.
advisors when I'm having tough times and been like, "Hey, I need to just talk through this with you. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Right? Is this me? Is this
Yeah.
what it's like? Can you give me some confidence, some this, some that?" And so I'd
Yeah.
say, like, having a support network. It's really interesting, and this doesn't get talked about a lot, but I
Tell
was
me.
recently at a summit and we had like a founders anonymous session.
Yeah.
And it was wild just how much
Oh,
every one of us goes through the same
it's the
journey, the same
same.
experience,
The
the same
same.
thing, just in a different way. But we all have the same problems. We all have the same fears, the same this. And a lot of the times you feel alone at it because you don't know who
Yeah.
to talk to, or a lot of people aren't comfortable being vulnerable. I am fortunate that I put all cards out there
Yeah.
always, and I talk about the things that don't get talked about because that's how you start to have a dialogue with others and comfort
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm.
And having a partner that supports you is very, very important because there are tough times.
Oh,
I say the highs are high, but the
the
lows
lows are very low. Yeah.
are lower than you think they can be. Like, you can expect and get excited about high highs, but managing extremely low lows is tough.
And it can be in the same day too.
Yeah,
That's what I have found.
same
Uh,
hour or two even.
yeah, yeah. This is why, okay, we're gonna wrap up here a little bit because otherwise we go on for hours. We could, Ryan. But founders know so many other founders, like you're friends with founders typically. Like there's a high concentration. I think unlike in other fields, this is my bet. I gotta do a whole research analysis. Like I don't know how many lawyers know other lawyers as like friends, I don't know. Or nurses know other nurses like as just pure friends. But the founder to founder click is
Yeah,
strong because
for sure.
it's such an unusual experience, I find. So that's one
Yeah.
point. Got to research that, fact check that. Another research paper. But secondly, you mentioned, and we could wrap up with this partner. So you're not talking about your co-founder. Are you talking about your spouse, someone like that?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. I was talking about family. I mean,
Yeah.
business too. I think it's
Yeah.
really, and I know friends that, like, they rely on their business partner so much. And
Sure.
I think having partnership in your business,
Yeah.
whatever
Big
that
time.
means, co-founders, your top people, your first
Yeah.
employees, it's people you trust that are going to
Yeah.
help you guide, make decisions, build, execute. But the personal side of it, I think, is really important. I have two young kids, both under the age of 3. Like,
Ooh,
it's
right.
hard.
Yeah.
And my partner recognizes that I have a slightly different lifestyle and
Yeah.
circumstance and a level of intensity where you can't just shut off thinking about your business. And that's one thing that's
No.
hard. It's not a 9 to 5 where you get home at 6 and it's like, awesome, I'm waiting for the next day. At
No.
3 in the morning, I'm waking, thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Nothing can shut off the passion for the business, which means your family needs to respect and support you along that, which means you have
Mhm.
to have a lot of communication and support with your partner.
Yes. I wonder, I know YPO has like the spouse support groups because they're just like, "Oh my god, like, how do we handle being connected, married to these people?" Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think
We're
there
also
could be
intense and crazy. It takes an
yeah,
intense, crazy person to be a
it's a
founder,
lot,
and got to manage that.
it's a whole there must be therapists who specialize just in this, I
Oh, there
imagine.
are.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe something new
yeah.
for Esther Perel. Well, she talks to founders anyway. Anyway, Ryan, we're gonna end it here because otherwise we'll go on forever, and it's Friday and we gotta do stuff. So, there's that. Ryan, appreciate you being on today, solving a lot of stuff in the credit space. Wow, with credit cards that start at $300. so people can build credit.
Up to
And also
300.
up to three. Oh,
Our
up to
lowest
300. Up
our
to
lowest
300.
credit line is $50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Ryan Duitch. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Right, the
Appreciate
founder
being
and
here.
CEO of Arro. Thank you for being here, truly. Yes,
Thanks, Beck, for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Happy Friday, too. There we go. We'll be up at 3 a.m. thinking about our own damn problems and things. But yes, happy Friday in the meantime. Enjoy.
Thanks, Beck.